Trump officially labels Antifa a terrorist group. Leaked texts show chilling exchanges between LanceTwiggs and Robinson, and the media gets caught romanticizing murder. So, I'm like, Antifa is a terrorist organization. I actually believe the whole Democratic Party is at this point. The hate and the murder and everything really comes from one side of the political spectrum. We all know that. Also, the people who end up mentally ill that end up doing the horrific things are also pushed and a part of one side of the political spectrum as well. Antifa is insane. They come to protests. I've been to a bunch of them. Antifa showed up, and people in Antifa have stabbed one of my friends. That's what they do. They come, they harass you, they will pretend to be Trump supporters, they get everybody riled up. They did the same thing on January 6th. And while you see all the Republicans being like, no, we're peaceful, we're protesting, like, this is what we're here to do, they stab people. I mean, yeah, they are, they dox you, they follow you. Yeah, they are a terrorist organization. So that's what it is. I know we can't label the whole Democratic Party as that. There's text correspondence between LanceTwiggs and TylerRobinson. And I will say, I'm not qualified to speak on this. I'm not exactly the CIA, FBI, any corrupt agency with 3 letters. But I will say, these are supposed to be, I don't know what mentally ill people sound like, because this is a dude dating a dude that's becoming a woman. They're gay, trans, I don't know. They're dreaming about murdering people. So I'm not going to act like I know how these freaks talk, but I will say it's weird. I didn't know kids talk like this. I also think it's weird that you go and kill one of the most famous people in the world, and then you're like, you guys have been talking about it. Like, you thought you were gonna not get caught, and then you thought these wouldn't come out. So I also think, everything seems very calculated. I mean, these things are calculated. You don't just randomly, an hour before, I'm gonna get up on the roof and do this. The texts are very weird. I was also listening, they were saying the parents were like, the kid was spending a lot of time online, and then he was getting into politics, and I'm like, I forgot who I was listening to, one of those shows, and they were saying, first he was being suicidal, and I was just like, I mean, how did you, if it's a normal family, how did we get to this point? Was he watching the news too much? Was he spending too much time online? Was he believing all the the bullshit of CNN, all this, oh, he's a dictator, he's going to take, oh, he's so hateful, blah, blah. Because I'll tell you one thing he wasn't doing. He wasn't actually watching or listening to Charlie Kirk. He wasn't actually watching or listening to him. Because everyone who was even on the left was saying, I've watched this and I can't really disagree with a lot of it. Even if you're not Christian, he's saying pretty much facts. And he's not only having debates, he's having debates that I would never be able to do, because I could never show that much love and empathy to a stranger, nevertheless a leftist as well. But then they said that the parents were saying, well, potentially he was suicidal. And I'm like, well, I mean, Jesus, after everything that's happened, I'm like, you should have just let him kill himself. To be honest, I'm like, that would have been a much, much better outcome. I mean, at this point, if these people aren't contributing to society, they're becoming trans furries, they're talking about mass shootings. I mean, this is why we talk about mental health and being healthy so much on the right, because it doesn't produce these people. But also at the same time, I'm like, we're just going to reproduce, get married, have kids. And eventually these people aren't going to exist. They're all going to abort their children. They're going to, continue to just kill their own kids, take SSRIs, get vaccines, get boosters. They're going to fucking, kill themselves. And at a certain point, I'm like, so just let them. I'm like, what, you stopped him from killing himself? And then he went and killed one of the most loved people in the world? And then we talked about it with his furry trans boyfriend? I mean, it's at a certain point, go to Canada. In Canada, they actually promote you taking your own life and help you. They put you in suicide pods. Maybe for people like this, that's not the worst thing. That's not a very Christian response. I don't really claim to be a Christian. But if it could stop these things from happening, then sure, because what's the other option? We just continue to tell these people, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, people deserve to die because of their words, because you spend too much time on fucking signal group chats or whatever these people are doing. So I think this is all weird, but I'm not an expert, so I won't give any further comment on that. And we have ABC romanticizing the murder, as they do all, useless people.
We have seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate, who is transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case. And on the other hand, he was, speaking so lovingly about his partner. So a very interesting and, as Pierre said, riveting press conference, David.
God, I hope this guy lost his job. Someone tried to kind of defend last night. He's never said anything this stupid before. Is he like clinically insane? Even if this was on the teleprompter, I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm good. I actually am just going to go a separate way. Sane. And then also he's switching up the language. He's like, oh, his roommate. And oh, his lover, his partner, his transition. You mean his trans boyfriend? His trans boyfriend? Well, first of all, if you're a man dating another man who's transitioning to a woman, you're gay. So you can say his gay boyfriend, because that's literally what that is. Oh, he's like partner. I'm also like, you know what, sir? Just quick question. I was just wondering if you were standing there in front of thousands of people and your wife's throat got shot out in front of you and your children, would you have the same tone of like, oh, but the person was romanticizing with their partner over text? Hold that same energy. Because I'm like, that's insane. I mean, this is the shit where people watch and like, no wonder, I talked to a girl working at a store yesterday and she's like, oh, when it happened, all the young girls here were like laughing and cheering. Yeah, because this is the way you report it. You should have to force people to watch the video. The video is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. That video radicalized me. It was so bad. I thought it was AI and was telling people it's not real. It was that horrific to watch. I hope he lost his job. What an idiot. Oh, yeah, it's a romance. That's what this is. And then we have Ted Cruz, who wrecked Caitlin Collins as she tries to act like the shooter was not a left-winger.
As Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, just said, right now they don't have any evidence of an organization. Obviously, they're still looking into this. But on the bullet casings, I don't remember there being a transgender one on there. I remember him saying there was one that said, if you can read this, you're gay. It was referencing internet memes. But on what you just said there about investigating
there is. Hold on a second, Caitlin. There is a transgender one. If there is funding. Hold on, Caitlin. Caitlin, there is a transgender.
Go ahead.
There's a reference to... Do you see my bulge, which is, I'm told, is an online meme for transgenderism? And Director Patel testified that the murderer here was living with his romantic partner, who was a transgender man transitioning to being a woman. And
do you guys ever think that maybe the person who shot Charlie Kirk, who is a political figure, was probably not politically aligned with him? Did that crazy thing ever cross any of these people's mind? Not only are they so quick to deny it's someone, they're also so quick to try to blame our side. And I'm like, common sense. It's the same with all the other shooters who constantly try to assassinate everyone on our side. If you're a Republican, you're probably not going to try to kill a Republican. Duh. I mean, literally, this is so low IQ. It's like frustrating with these people. And it's so funny. At this point, you just have to sit back and be like, just give it 24 hours. The shooter, there'll be a trans manifesto. I mean, literally at this point. And this is, are Republicans embracing trans ideology and saying that this is normal or this is healthy? No, we obviously all speak against it. I mean, I would say Republicans in general have a lot of things we can easily agree on. And in what world would it be? The guy who shot Trump was actually a registered Republican. Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, but what do you expect? It's CNN. If they're talking, they're lying. If their mouth is moving, they are lying. I love Scott Jennings. He's actually I think my favorite person right now. Goes off on Monte Williams trying to depict TylerRobinson as just a love-torn kid.
Talking about a love-torn child. A kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved. He sat on that building for 30 minutes before he took the shot. Why did he wait until the first word trans came up? Then he took the shot.
You think he heard it? He could hear it?
I think he could hear it. I think he also, I don't believe he was motivated politically. I think this was motivated emotionally.
Guys, the evidence here is overwhelming. He said, Charlie Kirk, I can't stand this hate anymore. I'm going to take him out. The testimony from him and the statements of his family, he had become more left-wing. He etched the statements that are made by the left about Republicans and conservatives and Charlie Kirk fascist on the bullet casings.
He made a joke about it in his last text.
Well, it doesn't sound like a joke to me because someone's dead.
I don't know how he's able to sit across from these people and be so calm and collected. I would be literally screaming, losing my mind. And the one thing I hate about the left is they have zero consistency. The second something is turned on them, and if it was one of them, of course it would have been, political. It would have been directly related to all of our politics. We should all be held accountable. Trump should be held accountable. All Republicans, the media outlets. I don't know how the fuck these people sleep at night. I really don't. How you could go on even CNN of all the BS shows and say that is unbelievable. And for him to be so calm and collected around these people, I give it up to him because I could never. I genuinely could never. We have a press release from Karen Bass. So she refused to lower the flags to half staff to honor Charlie Kirk. And she also said that she was going to send staff to make sure that the flags remain that in case they were to not listen to her. And I'm like, is that if she's sending staff to make sure, is that our tax dollars? Because that would just piss me off even more on top of all of this. And by the way, there was a Charlie Kirk memorial at the Beverly Hills sign. I went, so many people. It was incredible. There was no counter protesters or any of that BS, at least that I saw. A couple people gave speeches, and it was amazing. I love seeing these young kids in MAGA hats, especially. It looked like it was a lot of younger Persian Jewish kids, and I love it. I just feel like they're one of the few groups in LA, and they're I don't give a shit. And good for them. They're they go to school. I'm wear the MAGA hats. Wear it to school. Make your teachers cry. What do you guys give a shit? Your parents own fucking half the city. Literally say fuck them to their faces. You're oh, you don't like this? Hey, bitch, you can go quit then. Go quit your $65,000 a year job. My dad owns the building you're standing in. I was these kids are the last hope I have.